Hello everyone. I've got a couple of Beatles records to show you today. Because the clocks have changed, I'm sort of breaking my rule of shooting video in daylight. Um, so I hope it's not too terrible. I don't want to put the main light on because I find you get really nasty glare from the records. So I'm just going to have to make do and hopefully you'll get a bit out of it. I've got a couple of records that I've taken delivery of today, and I bought a couple from up the road from me a week or so ago. Two of which have already gone. I bought a copy of Please Please Me, a copy of With the Beatles, and a copy of Beatles for Sale. The first two have been sold, but I thought I'd show you the third one, which I only listed on eBay yesterday. It's quite a nice copy. And then I'm going to get round to showing you a couple of records that I've never actually had before, which doesn't happen often. So 2 secs whilst I set my camera up. Okay, so I've got to show you this one because it's really lovely. Look at the front of the sleeve on that. Nice and shiny, and the spine is really great. It was slipped a little bit, but they generally do. And there's the back of the sleeve. Look at that. It's a minter. And I noticed yesterday whilst I was listing it something that I think is slightly unusual, but I might be wrong. Maybe I just don't generally look hard enough. But, well, as you can see, first thing to say is it's a really great copy. I haven't even had this one cleaned, but it looks stunning nonetheless. I don't think it's been played much. But, right, this might be awkward with the lighting situation being as it is. But, which side's it on? I can't even see it myself now. Huh. It's got an MT tax code on it anyway. No, I'm damned if I can see that now. That's because of the lighting situation, unfortunately. Yeah, they've generally got KT tax codes on, haven't they? So, slightly unusual copy. And a lovely one, actually. Really nice. Better, probably, in fact, than my personal copy. So I stuck that on eBay yesterday. Now, these are the main items of interest for me this afternoon. Right, so one of these I think I'm hoping to keep, and the other one I will probably sell. Reason being is that one of them has actually been a gaping hole in my collection for quite some time. The other one is just a bit of an unusual one that I've taken a punt on. Right, so this is the one that I'm probably going to flip. So, including postage, I've paid, I think I got a couple of pence changed from 20 quid for this. So, I'm not exactly sure chronologically when this one came out. Maybe you can help me out with that. I'm guessing 1963 or 1964. It's got some pretty... Are they all from the first two albums? Oh God, I don't know off the top of my head. It's pretty rare, pretty early anyway. I wonder if it's got a date on it. No, it doesn't seem to have. I should have looked it up before I started filming this. Never mind. Okay, so the sleeve is nice on it. I think it's got classic name tags that someone sort of scrubbed out a little bit, but other than that, it's really lovely. The one thing that's thrown me a little bit chronology wise is that although I would guess this is the original sleeve, that makes me think that maybe it isn't, because it seems like this, the Beatles Beat, should have probably been released before Beatles for Sale. So that's made me wonder a little bit, because I do believe it's a first press with the lovely green Odeon label. And now this will probably come back to bite me in the arse saying this, but I think it's, judging on the light I've got right here, it's a pretty tidy copy actually. These ones are quite rare, I think. Much easier to find on the re-released blue Odeon labels, which generally it would have been, which would be in stereo, but this is a mono record, I think. Yep. So that's quite a nice item, isn't it? You can see that those playing surfaces, hopefully, are pretty nice. Doesn't look like any terrible damage on them anyway. And there's not much spindle wear there on the label, which is generally a good sign, because it means it probably hasn't been played all that much. So that's a lovely copy, isn't it? So that one I'm probably not going to keep. It is cool, but it's not got quite such, it wouldn't go quite such a glaring gap in my collection as the next one, which I will show you now. So you could make a case for this being the most glaring omission in my collection up until this point. These are really quite difficult to find, and they're certainly difficult to find at the price that I've paid for this. I should have just pulled the tab, shouldn't I? Pull the tab. So this addition to my collection, if it's decent, if it's not decent, then I'll probably just, well, I don't know what I'll do with it. This means that I'm going to have both UK mono and UK stereo copies of all of the albums up to and including Sgt. Pepper. So this, as you can see, is a stereo copy of Rubber Soul. This one I didn't pay anything like as much for as you might think. It's got the original Ematex inner. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it was maybe, I think I've maybe got change from 20. No, 25 I would say. So this is worth a lot. If you know your Beatles records, you'll know that this is worth a lot more if it's decent. And oh look, it is looking pretty good. That is fairly tidy. These are rare as hen's teeth. I swear to God that actually these stereo first pressings, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a stereo first pressing. I swear to God that these are actually harder to come by than the mono loud cuts, because I've had an infinite number of loud cut copies of Rubber Soul pass through my hands over the years, but this is the first time I've ever managed to get myself a stereo copy. I mean, obviously there is a caveat for that, the caveat being that I never really pay more than about 25 quid for a record, and so I could have got myself a stereo copy if I'd have pushed the boat out finance wise, but you know, I'm a tight ass. So there we go. So this one I think is a keeper. Look at that. It's probably, it's not a minter, but it's not looking that far off. I think with a, definitely with a Pro Clean, that'll be a pretty tidy copy. So that I'm very, very pleased with. It does mean that I have now got a ridiculous amount of copies of Rubber Soul. So I think I've got a German stereo press, which I'll probably just chip on. Yeah, okay, pretty happy with that. I hope you enjoyed that video. I didn't really show you the spine. Should we have a look at the spine? Nice. And it is, can you see the matrix number? It's YEX 1762 on side A, 1792 it looks like on side B. That could be wrong. This light isn't being very friendly to me. I think that's the first press. I think by the look of that stereo caption there, I think they got progressively shrunk down a little bit throughout the pressing, so I think that's first press. It's definitely worth more than I paid for it, so job's a good one. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably blathering on now. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then feel free to push the like button and subscribe for more record related nonsense in the coming future. Okay, cheers everybody. Goodbye.